Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Craig. Um, okay, I'm checking out my live feed here, and for some reason, I do not appear to be on, or at least nothing appears to be broadcasting. That is a very odd thing, seeing as how I am totally looking at myself right now on my end. But according to this, well, hey, there I go. Anyway, well, hey, so much for technology. Anyway, welcome to Coffee with Craig. I am Craig. Obviously, here is my coffee. As you can see, I don't just drink a cup of coffee. I have graduated to a bucket of coffee. So, this is how I get my day going for you. Anyway, so today I have kind of an interesting topic, and this is where when we start talking about civil rights, and you know me, I'm always talking about civil rights and how our civil rights intersect and how important the Bill of Rights all are. Well, here's a case where you've got a company that, well, how shall I say it? You have a company, YouTube. Obviously, we all know YouTube. YouTube has actually decided that they are going to ban the posting of videos that discuss the installation of bump stocks, right? Now, mind you, and I understand they're doing this in the wake of what occurred in Las Vegas, but once again, it begs the question that okay, so here's an item that currently, as of today, is legal. Is something that can be legally owned and legally purchased in most, if not all, but most states within the United States of America. It is something that clearly the ATF has said is not illegal, and so if someone wanted to install this or own this or purchase this, then they would obviously want to know how to install it. But here it is now. YouTube has decided that they are going to ban the posting of any video that includes content talking about how to install a bump stock. And it begs the question, because you've heard me say this before about the First Amendment. The thing about civil rights and all of the amendments is that they don't exist to protect. First Amendment does not exist to protect speech we all agree with. It does not exist to protect all speech. All speech we agree with. It actually, or the easy stuff, the stuff that you and I can agree on. It exists to protect possibly the questionable speech. Not the speech that actually violates someone else's rights, but the speech that one might find even offensive is what it exists to protect. And so when I look at something like this, I'm like, okay, here's someone who's engaged in legal activity, all right, purchasing of a legal item. Now, whether or not you agree with bump stocks or not is not. I'm not debating that. We're not debating whether or not bump stocks should be legal. We know right now in most cases they are. We know that the installation of them on a firearm is legal in most of these. According to federal law, it's legal. So why is it okay for an entity to then ban free speech when it comes to someone engaging in illegal activity? And it's not just limited to bump stocks. Here in the state of California, if you own a gun store, right, you are not allowed to put a picture of a handgun on the outside of your store. That is a violation of the law. Some billboards that are owned and run by the state that are facing the freeways, they'll oftentimes give control of those billboards over to a local municipality, a city or a county, in order to be able to identify or control what sort of advertising is going to go on there. Included in those items, included in the things that are prohibited, are anything having to do with firearms. So I have to ask myself, so here it is, once again, we're talking about a constitutionally protected activity. And yet we're allowing speech to be limited or speech to be taken away for those who would advocate for engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. Is that right? Is that something that we should just allow? Is that something that we should be okay with? if we're going to allow YouTube to ban these sorts of how-to videos, what other sort of how-to videos could they possibly ban? Could they ban videos on how to write your legislator? Could they ban videos on how a bill becomes a law? Could they ban videos, how to be a good father or how to be a good mother? What are the sorts of videos and other videos that they have that they could potentially ban as a result of their desire or their willingness to quote unquote ban whatever? One has to ask that question. Where exactly are the limitations here? What are they not going to be able to ban? And that's why I say it's a camel's nose under the tent. Those of you who don't believe in the Second Amendment, and I know that most of you who are watching do believe in the Second Amendment, but at what point, once they undermine it because, well, we don't like guns, well, now we can eliminate speech when it comes to the freedom of speech, or when it comes to unreasonable search and seizure, or when it comes to, once again, we're suspending all of these civil rights all because, well, guns. I'm thinking that this is unreasonable. But who knows? Maybe I am alone in my opposition to this. Let me see. What do you folks have to say about this particular issue? Do you think that it's reasonable for them to ban bump stocks or ban the videos showing how to install bump stocks? Do you think they haven't gone far enough? Do you think they need to ban all videos that discuss or promote bump stocks unless it's illegal? I don't know. Maybe you think that. Maybe they think that. What about teaching how to shoot? Anything talking about how to defend yourself, how to be a good marksman? What about any videos like that? Should we ban those? I mean, if it's going to make people potentially more deadly, maybe what they're going to say is we ought to ban those how-to videos, right? When I learned how to take apart my firearm, guess how I learned how to do it? YouTube. Learned how to take it apart, learned how to appropriately clean it, put it back together. So now are they going to ban those how-to videos? Well, because obviously if you're going to clean your firearm, it's going to make it better and more efficient. It's going to make it potentially more deadly. So is that something now that should be banned? See, this is why why we fight on so many different levels. People ask us, well, why are you dealing with a free speech lawsuit over here? Why are you dealing with a property rights issue over here? That's because they're all interlinked. They're trying to take away our other civil rights because they don't want us to exercise our Second Amendment rights. And they're using the Second Amendment, they're using firearms as the justification to take away all of our other rights. And then once they've eliminated our Second Amendment right, then they're going to come for the rest. Because, well, hey, there's already precedent. They've already determined, hey, if we can demonstrate that it is enough of a public nuisance because we don't feel safe, well, then your rights are up for grabs. That's the message that they're sending. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Let's see. Jeremy says, it has moved from us having our rights infringed all the way to the social persecution of an entire group of people due to their beliefs and participation in constitutionally protected activities. Jeremy, you've hit the nail on the head, and we have to be. We need to stand up and not allow that to happen. We need to, whenever we see, whether it's our free speech rights, whether it's our due process rights, whether it's our private property rights, we need to stand up and say something. We need to fight. When law enforcement wants to search your car, guess what? You have a right to have them not search it. Well, anyway, I'm not a lawyer. Please don't go and you get pulled over by law enforcement and just start getting belligerent with them because Craig said so. The point that I'm making is you've got to know your rights, and you got to stand up for your rights, and don't assume that the people involved in the system know your rights or care about your rights. You got to know your rights. You need to know what your rights are. And you've got to know how to stand up for them. Now, you don't have to be a jerk about it, right? You don't have to be mean, nasty. You don't have to escalate the situation about it, but you can be positive. You can stand up. You can be, how I like to say, pleasantly persistent in the exercising of your rights. That's how I like to put it. But some people, some people don't believe that. They believe that their right to feel something, which last I checked, I don't know that there's any fundamental right to feel anything. But that's exactly what they're fighting for. They're fighting for their right to exercise their right to feel over they're exercising their right to feel safe over our right to be safe. And, well, I don't know. I just take an issue with that. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please make sure to take the time to share this video with your friends. Share the work that we're doing. We don't do this without you. We don't spread the word on stupidity like this. We can't do it without you and without your support. So we encourage you, follow the link, read a little bit more about the story. They'll give you more details, but also take the time to share this video with a friend. Anyway, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun and stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.